wants to better their kids, right?
Of course. Look, but here's the thing: there's bettering your kids through paying somebody to fuck up their test scores or pretend to be athletes and shit like that. Okay,
Or
and then some
pretending to be
people
your kid.
exactly, and then sometimes you take your kids, natural U.S. born Social Security, so you can get a job support their ass. So either way, same, right? Same. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Keyboard Warriors, presented by RipTheWarriors.com. Yeah. My name is Law. That's Jesse. That's Fred Kirby. I ain't tired as fuck. Quite obvious. But plenty to talk about tonight. Starting off with UFC Wichita this last weekend. JDS winning by was it TKO or KO at the end? I know it's barely a difference. I thought
Fucking semantics.
Is a finish.
Yeah, he finished Black Beast. I thought it was gonna be over after he hit him with that. Was it like the kick to the body? And like doubled, like he doubled Lewis over and then just beat the shit out of him after that. But
so
I gotta give it to Lewis for hanging in there.
Is this a problem that Lewis just has, that he's weak to the body, or is it that just, he just, is it his injury of his back and all that stuff is hindering him to be able to take those shots to the body?
It was a liver shot, dude. Liver shot will drop anybody. I've been hitting the liver. I know how that shit feels. God awful.
Oh, no doubt. I'm just saying, like, it just seems like he's pretty, prone to that attack and kind of shutting down his game. And his back is also the big issue, right? Like, he's always had an issue with his back. So what do you guys think? What is he, like, 30, 36, right?
He's not young.
Yeah, so what do you guys think is the future for this guy? Is he a gatekeeper, or is he a guy that if he kind of gets himself together, he can be a contender?
With all due respect, did anybody really think that he would be anything more than a gatekeeper? I mean, I swear to God on my life, I mean that respectfully. But, like, to be fair, I think Derek Lewis has kind of exceeded all of our expectations already.
No doubt. You know what, Fred? I agree with you. I almost actually thought he was just going to be that, like, Dan Hardy, like that fun fighter that always is like in fun fights, but never is like a top 10 competitor. The UFC just keeps him around to, give him a fun fight every once in a while.
To be fair, I could have seen Derek Lewis in the earlier part of his career ended up like Pat Barry. I mean, I'm not hating. I'm just saying, like, there's been a lot of guys in the UFC that have came and went at first. And then, Derek Lewis is a big guy who punches hard, but all due respect, those come a dime a dozen in the UFC. I didn't think he would beat a lot of these guys that he's beaten. So, I mean, look, I think we all know what Derek Lewis's ceiling is at this point for sure, right? Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, he's never. The good thing about this is I almost don't feel bad for Derek Lewis at all. He's said from the jump street, he's just trying to get that cake. The boy's probably a millionaire by now. He's buying Lamborghinis. He's got about 3 or 4 more fights and he can probably retire for the rest of his life. This is fucking great. He never really wanted to be the champion of the world anyways. You know what I'm saying? That dude was in prison like 8 years ago or whatever the fuck. Like, I think he's Gucci. And I, that's good. I think to answer your question, I think he will be a gatekeeper. I don't think he's going to be a real contender, but I tell you what, he is definitely the type of guy that can sleep you if you're not fucking careful. Even if you are a top contender, he's the type of guy that you're going to have to take seriously.
Here's the thing. I don't think Derek Lewis ever gave a shit about being a champion. I don't think he ever give a fuck. I think Derek Lewis is fun fights and getting paid. You know what I mean? Like, that title shot he got against DC, even he didn't want it. He was like, no, I ain't ready for all that. I need to work on my cardio.
And at that moment, he probably thought, well, fuck, let's see what happens. But, like, I think he probably wanted to be champion for about 3 months when he was training for that fight. And then for probably about 3 minutes of that fight. And then DC got a hold of him and he went, okay, fuck me. This is about what I thought it would be. And I ain't really made for championship material. It's all good. Let me cash this $1 million, $2 million check and be done with it.
Yeah, and that's why we love him, because he's got no matter what, he's got that personality. He's like, fuck, pay me. Like, it's in a different scale of like Donald Cerrone, right?
Right, but it's basically that exact scale.
Yeah,
a fan favorite. Well, I guess old Donald might pull off a Bisping on us or some shit. Old Donald might fuck around and sneak through the back door and get a championship on his way out. But more than likely, Donald's a lot like Derek Lewis.
Yeah.
Fan favorite, easily likable guy, very tough, always takes the fight against whoever, but probably isn't quite a champion or in that GOAT conversation.
Right. And I think that's the thing that is so refreshing about him as well, is that he's never he's never alluded to being a title contender. You know, he's always said, you know, like Fred, like you said, Fred, he's always just here about the money. And, you know, obviously that opportunity of fighting for a championship belt, I mean, that just put his stock up. So now he can just headline from now until, you know, he loses 3 in a row and gets kicked out of the UFC, you know, and he can still make that good money. So, I mean, good on him. I just feel like I don't want him to fall into that category of, you know, like a BJ Penn or something where he's just fighting for that paycheck and people are, and the UFC is still propping him up a little too high for, you know, his britches, and he's getting these like terrible knockouts. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the type of guy that like, yeah, let's put in the new kid against him and see what happens.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Look, Derek Lewis is going to be a fun motherfucker. But JDS, let's talk JDS because I know some people got their opinions on this. JDS wins this fight, and everyone starts talking about maybe he deserves a title shot. I think he's still a couple big wins away from it. But Fred, what do you think?
Well, Jesus fucking Christ, Eddie. I think a couple is a little rude. He might be one more win away from a title shot, but heavyweight's pretty fucking thin, Jack.
Yeah.
I mean, what's really doing at heavyweight? You know what I mean? I think that I wouldn't give him a title shot right now, but he's definitely one big fight away. I mean, where else is there for him to go? He's got to fight one of the top 3 or 4 guys next if he wins that one. I mean, and, you know, also heavyweight is so you know, dead right now that just the fact that JDS and DC haven't fought is kind of working in his favor. It's a fresh matchup. So to be fair, I guess you never know. He might fuck around and get that title shot. Like, I doubt it, but I mean, you know, looks like John Jones is going to keep his little funny ass at 205.
Yeah.
We don't know what Brock's going to do. There's still a chance that might just not happen. You know, so what do we got left? Fucking Stipe and JDS. So like we can match them up with each other, or give one of them the title shot. Like either way, he's one win away, Jack, for sure.
What do you think, Fred, about? In my opinion, I think the biggest loser of the weekend was Stipe because he's not taking any fights. He's just, you know, basically holding out for a title shot, but he's not being active. So he's kind of like forgotten, you know, like everybody's talking about, oh, you know, JDS or even Ngannou because he's on a run, or maybe Kane if he gets another win or two. You know what I'm saying? Like Stipe's name's not even being thrown out there anymore. So do you guys think that Stipe is now becoming the biggest loser of this whole heavyweight championship belt contest?
It was a lack of. I mean, if he would have taken a fight and won, we wouldn't be saying that. Inactivity.
He needs to fight. That's a fact. Now, certainly now, he needs to fight. I mean, because if he stays fucking stagnant and they can't do Brock, I feel like they're going to go with fucking, you know, Ngannou or fucking JDS at this point. Yeah. Fresh matchup for DC either way.
And here's the thing, though. Does it feel like to you guys that DC's kind of holding up the heavyweight division, like we're holding on for this fucking Brock fight?
Well, he's injured.
Okay, he's injured.
Right.
But
either way, I don't give a fuck. Say he ain't injured. I'll go along with your theory and say that he is holding up. So what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
DC's the fucking man, and he deserves the money fight. I don't know exactly, you know, I would be curious to find out exactly what we're waiting on here and what the real possibility of Brock getting that fight is. I guess we have no fucking clue. That's a little annoying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure DC's a little more privy than us. So maybe, you know, Dana and them are telling DC, like, look, dude, it's about 90% sure. We're going to fucking shock the world. We're going to announce it. You know what I mean? Maybe he knows some shit that we don't know. But either way, like, you know, look, man, I love Stipe at the end of the day. He's an Ohio boy. But, like, bro, get the fuck over it. I mean, I get it. Look, you probably should have got your rematch, dog. God damn if the life ain't fair. You know what I mean? Like, get over it, bro. Take another fight. And if it's meant to be, then Brock won't fight and you'll get the fight. You know what I mean? But, like, if I'm him, I'm trying to get that JDS fight again. Or Ngannou. Shit, I done whoop both y'all. What time? Like, who wants it? You know what I mean? Like, it's time for him to step up and take one of those fights or something.
In fact, now you mentioned, I think that JDS rematch is a smart fight to take because they've only fought once. That was here in Phoenix a handful of years ago, and Stipe or JDS got a decision that I didn't agree with. I thought Stipe won that fight, but now he can run it back.
They fought twice, bro.
What was the second time? Who won?
They fought twice. Stipe knocked him out the second time. The first time it went to a close decision.
Oh, you're fucking right. Okay, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's do the trilogy.
Even more reason.
Just fucking fight. That's it. Just and I hate saying that to a guy, that does deserve that should deserve a rematch right away. But that's the game right now. You know what I mean?
Right. That's the thing. I agree with you, Stipe. Like he right, but at the end of the day, if it ain't gonna happen at a certain point, you might as well just take a fucking fight with one of these other cats. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, you just got to stay relevant at this point. Like keeping your name in the headlines goes a long way, right? Like it keeps your name out there, and then every article that's written about you when you fight, always they recap, what you did previously, who you were, what championships you have, and all that stuff. So it keeps you up to date, like on the person. But if you're out of the headlines and you don't do interviews, you don't do anything, nobody cares about you.
So where's JDS going then? Who? Ideal world. Let's wrap this fucking topic up. We got a lot of shit to discuss tonight. Who do we want to see JDS fight next?
DC.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. So you want to see him get the title shot?
You know what? If we're not going to get Brock, like you guys are saying, he's kind of stagnant, right? Well, let's see him just go and defend the title against, a top competitor that we haven't seen him against.
Fair. Okay. I want to see JDS versus Ngannou.
That's exactly what I want to see.
Just stylistically. No big reason why. I'm pretty sure that it's somebody's going to fucking get slept, and I'm here for it.
Look, JDS is not going to shoot on Ngannou, try to take him down, eat an uppercut, go stanky leg, and go to sleep.
Title shot for either of the guys.
JDS is going to eat a fucking overhand right and go to sleep. He's going to go to sleep.
My question, so would you give a title shot to whoever wins out of those two?
Yeah, of course. Francis.
I mean, barring the time issues, obviously, but yeah. I mean, if not, then they're in line for whatever comes next. I mean, clearly, you know what I mean.
We'll see them, the winner of that fight for an interim belt before we see him fight for a heavyweight belt. I think DC's gonna hold out as long as he can.
If they fight each other, whoever wins that fight will be coming off of 2 impressive wins, right?
Yeah.
So
okay, so watch them make that JDS and Ngannou fight for an interim belt as like a co-main on a card.
I mean, for real, if Brock can't fight, this is all pretty easy then, right? Let them fight each other and then just let Stipe get his stupid fucking rematch and we'll all be gravy train. You know what I mean?
Or what do you think about this? What do you think about giving Stipe to Kane?
Kane's got to be able to fight, though. He's injured.
Look, all due respect, I think Kane needs to fight Ben Rothwell again or something along those or no, you know what? All real shit. You know what they had to do to that prick that got gifted that decision over Ben Rothwell? They had to give him Kane. And I'm being dead serious. Kane needs a fucking rebound, guys. For Christ's sakes, he needs a win. He needs a rebound. Give him that Russian prick. I think that's a great fight for fucking Kane.
That's a tough fight.
Get him back in there and let him get a W.
That's a tough fight, Fred. That's a tough fight.
For who?
For Kane.
Shit, Kane runs through that boy.
That's what we said about Ngannou.
Yeah, but Kane's not gonna have to fucking wrestle that dude. You just pick him apart.
Yeah, well, exactly. Listen, for all the bullshit, for all the shit that Ngannou gets, he's still a fucking animal. Old Ivan Salaberry or whatever the fuck that prick's name was. Fuck that motherfucker. Don't want no Kane.
No, hell no, he doesn't. All right. Other than that, the only other fight that I thought was pretty legit. George Mendes says, for some reason, I didn't get the notification that you guys went live. Well, we are live, I already checked. So I don't know. Look, Twitter and Instagram, or Facebook and Instagram both went to shit today. So the internet's all fucking weird. And real quick, let's talk about Nico Price knocking out Tim Means on some fucking nasty shit.
That was a good fight.
The guy that busted his leg and his ankle, right? Because of that?
Yep.
It means broke his ankle when he got knocked out.
And his tib fib as well, or something like that? That's what I heard initially.
I did hear he broke his leg and his ankle. That's what I heard.
Right.
That was a sick fucking fight while it lasted. I thought Nico was getting his ass whooped, and then Price was like, boom, good night.
He was low-key taking the beating low-key, and then he fucking landed that big shot, man. Live by the sword, die by the sword.
Exactly. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about in this card before we move on to this weekend stuff? Or actually, let's talk about something else in a minute.
No, let's get right the fuck to that. You guys get to it.
Look. All right. You guys know when anything happens with Conor McGregor, the internet blows up. It just does. And I believe it was this last weekend, right? Conor McGregor was this early this week or last weekend?
It was the weekend. I think it was Friday morning.
All right, well, whatever. At some point, yeah, this last weekend, I think, Conor McGregor was arrested in Miami after he took somebody's phone, smashed it on the ground, picked it back up, put it in his pocket or on his lap, got in his car or in his little SUV, and then they all drove off while he's like laughing out the window. And of course, everyone starts yelling out shit like, "Oh, Conor's an asshole. He's a cokehead, all sorts of shit." Then I think today or yesterday, the person whose phone was destroyed talked to TMZ. He's basically saying that Conor, you know, they were outside, they saw Conor. He's like, "Oh yeah, it's Conor right there, cool." And then Conor came up to him like he was gonna shake his hand, and I guess he pulled him in, took his phone, destroyed it, and went. It's a fucking weird ass story. I've heard a bunch of different reasons, some far fetched ones for real, that of why he did.
Give us the craziest one. Come on.
The one that I heard that I was like, get the fuck out, was that this dude was filming his lady breastfeeding their daughter. And so that's why Conor took the phone. And I was like, at first I was like, oh shit, well, that's fucking crazy. I mean, I guess I get it now. But I think Conor would have done more than just smash that dude's phone. You know what I mean? It's like some dude trying to like film his girl's titty. Like that's kind of fucked up. But anyway, like Fred, you heard about this. What do you think? What's your take on this?
Listen, this is the same guy who supposedly sucker punched the fucking mob boss's concierge in an Irish bar. It's the same guy that got fucking zooted out on cocaine and flew a plane halfway across the world and fucking attacked a bus with a bunch of Irish goons. I don't get what the big fuck. So, woohoo! He grabbed the TMZ reporter's phone and smashed it. What the fucking fuck? Of course he did. Like I don't know. I just was not understanding. Like I get why it's such big news. It's Conor, but like with all the shit that he's been involved in, why are we? Is anybody surprised that he smashed a paparazzi's phone? Like, ain't this what celebrities do?
He wasn't TMZ, a guy on TMZ. Like, he didn't work for TMZ. He just ended up speaking to TMZ about it.
Yeah, he's just a regular fan that was staying at the hotel or at the club that was.
Yeah, mind you, it came out later on that he was a Khabib fan. So you could assume that he might have been instigating Conor a little bit. I don't know.
Look, let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all think that Conor went up to a random dude for no reason and just snatched his phone out of his hand and just smashed it?
I don't think so.
I'm just real shit. Like, I'm not trying to be I'm just saying, like, realistically, what do we think happened here? I would imagine Conor was being provoked in some way. I just can't imagine him deciding to have a bad night and take it out on a random and his phone. Now, did that fan deserve it? What was being said? What happened? Who knows? He didn't fucking hit the guy. He smashed his phone. So what? I mean, he'll get sued a little bit for it and shit, but, you know, like, had he fucking spit him back, kicked him in the fucking knee or something, shot his nose right, like, it might have been a different. I don't know. I don't care, really, and I'm, quite frankly, not surprised at all. Like, this seems a little mild for Conor McGregor.
But the problem is, Fred, that he just ended his legal troubles with what happened in New York, and now he's getting into more legal trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a bad look for the guy.
Is this legal trouble, though? What are we talking here?
It is, because according
somebody else's property.
No, because he took it by force. So that's strong arm assault, I believe.
Don't get the fuck out of here with this.
No, that's what they call it. It's not. No.
Listen, look. Let me tell you a quick little fucking story about something that happened to me at Ozfest about fucking 37 years ago. Okay, back before I was actually legally allowed to drink, I got caught up in a little sting, and they caught me with a fucking beer at Ozfest, and this little prick undercover cop walked me out to the parking lot, told me I could potentially get fucking a $10,000 fine, 6 months in jail, all this kind of crazy hoopla. It ended up being a fucking nothing charge for $90. Conor McGregor is not going to get a fucking robbery charge out of this, guys.
No, but he could definitely fall into some more trouble because of what happened in New York. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a second strike against him, doing something where he's just kind of like a part-time visitor. You know, he's not a permanent resident of the United States. You know what I'm saying? He could find himself in a little bit of trouble trying to get a visa. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm more worried about, more than what he did. Because you're right, Fred. That's some BS. Like, how many celebrities do we not know that get tired of people, flashing cameras in their
Well,
face,
yeah,
finally go snatch someone's camera and go, just get out of my face.
and smash it.
It happens, man. It happens. We understand that. And like I was telling Eddie before, it could have been that he was doing something he didn't want people to see. Went over, told the guy, hey, just delete that. Guy was like, nah, screw you, give me some money. And he's like, well, I'm just gonna take your camera and smash it. Bam, we out. You know, like there's so many things that could have happened. We don't know. But the important thing is that like he just needs better people around him to protect him from doing this stupid stuff where he's gonna find himself liable for something that's gonna get him kicked out or not be able to do any events here in the US. You know what I'm saying? Like he's got to protect Conor McGregor more so than just not doing any stupid stuff.
Yeah, look, man, it's who knows what? It's Conor McGregor. You expect a crazy. What did John Jones say on Rogan's podcast? I'm a wild motherfucker. Like you're gonna be on that level. You're gonna be a wild motherfucker. So nothing's gonna happen to this dude. They'll just pay a fine and move on. His image might take a hit, sure. I don't think it'll stop his visa, anything from getting a visa or anything. But I mean, it just looks stupid. I mean, that's basically what I saw when I thought when I saw the million fucking clickbait posts. It's like, that's stupid. Let's move on. Anyway, all right. We got 2 events coming up this next in the next 2 weeks. We may or may not be on next Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna go ahead and knock these out now. This weekend, obviously, UFC London, headlined by Jorge Masvidal taking on Darren Till in his backyard. Co-main is Leon Edwards against Gunnar Nelson after his frankly kind of weird but funny video that he did. It's that fucking old school music video. I forgot the name of the song, but whatever. Volkan Ozdemir taking on Dominic Reyes, which actually sounds like a fun fight anyway. Nathaniel Wood against Jose Quinones. Claudio Silva against Danny Roberts. Jack Marshall against John Phillips. And on the prelim card, Arnold Allen is on there. Joseph Duffy's on there against Mark Diakese. Tom Breeze is on there. And Molly McCann, just to name a few. Main event, Darren Till versus Jorge Masvidal. I am hearing a whole lot of people picking Jorge. Who are you picking, Fred?
Darren Till.
Darren Till?
Listen, I ain't getting caught up in the hype. You understand me? It's a home game for Till. Till's a huge 170er. He should win this fight. I think he's probably a better striker than Jorge Masvidal.
Right.
But I don't know. I guess we'll see, man. Is this Till's first fight since the Woodley fight?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know. I would expect Till to win, but I guess we'll see how good he actually is coming off of the heels of this loss. In that way, Jorge Masvidal is kind of the perfect fight too, because it's like he's beatable. We've seen him lose, but we've also seen him win against some motherfuckers he shouldn't have necessarily won. He's one of them guys that could literally, like, any given Saturday, Jorge Masvidal could fuck around and be the champion. But then again, he's the type of guy that could fucking take an L to Darren Till too. So it's an interesting fight. Like, I think Darren Till will win, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like, Jorge Masvidal is the type of character to come through and fuck around and upset you.
Yeah, Jesse, here.
Damn, Fred is extra sober today, or extra high. I don't know which one. But yeah, he's right. Masvidal is that strange type of fighter where nobody looks great against him, but there are guys that end up beating him. You know what I'm saying? Like, just weird opponents that end up getting one over him. And he's got this weird style where he's very, very tricky and he's good at his movement and he does a lot of damage, and yet he still loses close decisions. And he's tried to adjust his game. And this, I could see this fight, it going the full 5 rounds and then him losing by some, split decision by like a hair, But this is definitely a good test of where Darren Till's mind is after that, destruction at the hands of the former champ of Tyron Woodley. So definitely a good gauge of how, if Darren Till really is what everybody's been saying, that he's, the next guy from England, the Michael Bisping, whatever.
Maybe he goes to 185. I think this dude's, killing himself to make 170. Which is, again, that's the first guy, the first thing he has to face is a fucking scale. So, all I'm picking Masvidal on the same reasons that Fred said. He could fuck around and fight like the champ one day and then take a fucking ridiculous L the next one. So I'm gonna take him on that one. Any other fight you want to talk about on this card? It's not really like the craziest card.
Not really.
It's like a nice.
Yeah. This card is, I mean, I don't want to say it's trash, but I mean, it's look, man, this is how we do to Europe and them, man. We give them these kind of cards that it's a one fight card, man.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'll definitely be keeping an eye on Ozdemir Dominic Reyes. I think that's a fucking good fight. And I'm gonna miss most of the card actually. I'm gonna be out of town, or in the state, but out of town on Saturday. So all right, then next week it's where is this place? Bridgestone Arena. That's not Wisconsin, is it? Do we know? Let me find out.
The wrong.
Where is it at?
Bridgestone Arena. I can't remember where it is.
Oh shit, yeah. I don't know what the fuck that's at.
I'll figure it out. Whatever. While we talk about the main event, Stephen Thompson taking on Anthony Pettis. This is a good fucking fight. Two guys that have a really good stand up, right? Pettis has the much, obviously more polished ground game, as in jiu-jitsu and all that. But this is Nashville. There you go, Nashville. In fact, I think we know quite a few people going to that one, and I think Jeremiah might be going to that, so that's kind of cool. But regardless, UFC in Nashville, Wonder Boy against Anthony Pettis. Not, it's a fun fight. Not sure, if either one gets a title shot after this one or anything, but this is a pretty solid fight. Jesse, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, it should be an interesting fight. I mean, this is the Pettis fight, right?
Right, Pettis, Wonder Boy Thompson.
Wonder Boy. It's an interesting fight because we've only seen Pettis basically as a kind of lower weight kind of competitor, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how he kind of fills out, and how he does, with all his fancy stuff that he likes to throw and how he likes to be exciting, fighting a guy that's, basically a 170er, a natural 170er,
Right.
So it should be interesting how that ends up. If it's what we all think it might be, then it should be a pretty interesting, kicking, and a fight where, we're going to see a lot of just weird trickery, weird kicks being thrown. But you never know. It could be one of those really boring fights where they just kind of stare at each other and, kind of fake like they're going to kick and nothing ever happens. So we'll see. I'll go with Pettis. I think Pettis, he might surprise people with, his speed and everything, and he might look better at 170.
Oh, shit. What? I don't know. Fred?
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. I definitely don't know about the whole Pettis pick. I love Showtime, but I'm pretty sure I've even heard him say that he knows he's undersized for 170 and that this isn't really like a place where he's going to stay at. Like, him and Ben Askren trained together, right? Like, if I'm not mistaken, Ben Askren be out there at Duke Rufus's. So, like, I'm pretty sure Anthony knows, like, he don't want no part of that action in a real life scenario. So I don't know, man. This is a little weird. I think it'll be a fun fight, I guess, but ultimately, I feel like Stephen Thompson will probably be a lot bigger and should have the mobility to not get caught with nothing fucking, no spinning shit, as old Nick Diaz would put it. I don't know. Could be a fun fight, but I'm just leaning towards Wonder Boy, man. He's a natural 170er, top of the division. Short of like Anthony landing, something sneaky and tricky, it should be Wonder Boy's fight to lose. It could be a little boring, because especially if Wonder Boy does win the fight. Wonder Boy could slow this fight down a lot, put it at his pace, slowly outpoint Anthony, and the fight wouldn't be very great. But I could definitely see it playing out in that scenario. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say that's what we get here. We get a Lyoto Machida-like performance from Wonder Boy. And he wins, but I don't think we lose as the fans, but I think Wonder Boy is going to win the fight.
Look, it's an ESPN card. I'm with you. Look, Thompson wants that point game, just like you were saying, right? Keep at range, score from the outside, don't get too close, don't get in trouble. Anthony Pettis either wants a ground fight or a brawl. That's what he wants. And so I think Anthony Pettis might get knocked the fuck out, trying to push the envelope, trying to make Wonder Boy brawl with him, which he's not gonna get. Wonder Boy doesn't brawl with anybody, and so either he's gonna start shooting in there for legs and shit, and try to make it a ground game fight, or he's gonna get knocked the fuck out trying to fucking brawl with Thompson. So, yeah, I'm taking Wonder Boy Thompson. I think Anthony Pettis should stick to 155, honestly, but see what he does at 170. All right, co-main event: Curtis Blades against Justin Willis in the heavyweight division. Curtis Blades, obviously, I think Curtis is coming up a loss or whatever. Again, not the sexiest card.
Yeah, Tangana.
Right. Lost to Ngannou. So this is a winnable fight for him, obviously. But Justin Willis is a bad motherfucker. John McDessie's back after getting his jaw cracked like 8,000 times apparently against Jesus Pinedo. Jussier Formiga's on the card. JJ Aldridge taking on Macy Barber. Did Macy just fight? Am I wrong on that?
I mean, like a month or so.
You know what? She might have just fought not long ago. I actually saw her in Vegas. That's why I'm thinking that I've seen her fight.
It wasn't too long ago, but it's been it's been a few weeks.
Okay. Then in the prelims, Bryce Mitchell against Bobby Moffitt. Frankie Saenz is back against Marlon Vera. That's low-key pretty good fight. Alexis Davis taking on Jennifer Maya.
That's a reschedule, right? The Vera fight from a couple months ago?
Vera got hurt or sick. He was supposed to fight at 235, and he just didn't have him. So
yeah, there you go.
And then Random Marcos taking on Angela Hill, which should be pretty solid. And yeah, it's kind of it. 2 cards in a row that are kind of like,
Yeah.
Like I get it. Then the weekend after that is the Philly card. That's the Edson Barboza against Justin Gaethje, David Branch against Jack Emerson.
Jesus Christ.
Josh Emmett with Michael Johnson, and Karina Kovacevic against Michelle Watterson.
Well, I tell you what, since we're fucking doing this, let's just have a little fun and keep going until a card actually fucking makes my dick get stimmy.
Okay, all right.
The Michelle Watterson fight didn't excite you there?
I like that fight. But I'm a little nervous for Michelle. Like, ooh, it's gonna be
the cards overall are burr. I mean, yeah, that's not a bad fight.
Oh, all right, let's
the main events are cute, but fuck.
Well, how about this? Why do you think it would have been better for the UFC to just kind of consolidate all those kind of headlining fights, put them on one card, and give everybody like a 2-week vacation of MMA, and then make one really nice card without having all that filler in between?
No. But they got 3 cards in a row. We could have done with a week in between.
Yeah,
they could have whittled those 3 down to 2. You know what I mean? Like, don't spread us so fucking thin, man. Like, we literally got like 3 fucking fights with recognizable names per card.
All right, well, let's fuck around with UFC 236 then. Main event, 2 interim title fights on the card, right? That one's the so March 30th is the Philly card. And then I think 2 weeks later, we get UFC 236. We do get a week break in between cards.
Oh, wow.
Max Holloway against Dustin Poirier for the lightweight interim belt. Calvin Gastelum against Israel Adesanya for the 185 interim belt.
Wow.
Eric Anders against Khalil Roundtree. That's a good fight. Max Griffin's in here. Wilson Heiss is on here.
Hey, Fred, aren't you thankful for the UFC giving you a week off between after that 3-week just blazing amount of cards that they're going to give you?
Listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you boys or the UFC. It ain't looking good.
No, even that 236 card, once you get past the 3rd fight, once you get past Eric Anderson and Khalil Roundtree, you're like, okay.
Listen.
They're still working on the card, mind you.
You can start at the main fight for all of me. I mean, look, is Max Holloway and what's the cute little Cajun prick's name? Poirier a good fight? Sure. But, like, it's still a little weirdy-beardy, right? Like, if we had our pick, Max versus Khabib, now that's a fucking fun fight. That's a fight that's actually a thing. Even fucking Max versus Tony kind of whittles me up a bit. I'm not trying to hate on Dustin, but I mean, I'm just keeping it a buck, right? Like, it's a good fight. It's a rematch. I understand a little bit, but that fight for an interim belt,
and it's a lighter weight class on top of a heavier weight class, which is weird.
Mind you, they offered Tony Ferguson the fight first against Max Holloway, and he turned it down. He's like, I'm not fighting for my interim belt again. It's retarded. So fair enough.
Listen, okay, fair enough. Sometimes you got to just not force it in the hole. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, okay, so maybe Max just ain't gonna be on this card then. Like, just putting him against any fucking suitable 55er you can find. It just seems like the Dustin Poirier fight doesn't make a lot of sense. And you know, Israel Adesanya versus Kelvin Gastelum is fun, kind of, but you know, and look, man, I guess I understand that you got to do what you got to do, but what the fuck, man? Another fucking interim title fight. So it's just juicing us up for another, you know, big fight. Like these are just a bunch of fights that don't fucking really matter.
Well, the only reason is because we've got the champ of the Gastelum and Adesanya fight. You know, the champ is out for probably another couple months. But, you know, what's the harm in waiting for Khabib to come back? What is it? He's saying after summer, right? Basically, is
Right.
when his buddy's suspension is up. So what's the harm in waiting for Khabib to come back after he does his what's it called, his religious thing, and then, you know, waits for his buddies to get off suspension, and then just, you know, come in with a banger of a card.
Listen, God damn it. If John Jones can fight the likes of Anthony Smith, then fucking Max Holloway can fight Volkanovski. Fuck it. Like, this isn't, don't try to fucking piss on me and tell me it's raining. This ain't no goddamn super fight. This ain't for no fucking champ. I mean, all due respect to Max. This ain't no fucking belt. This shit is getting a little silly, kind of. But fair enough. I did say to go into the future far enough to where we can find the fucking fight that actually mattered. So let me not just piss on it.
I was gonna say, do we have to go to the next event?
Yeah, no, I mean, kind of.
The next event's not that great either. It's UFC Fight Night 149 from wherever you be Lenny, whatever. Alexander Volkov against Alistair Overeem is the main event.
Okay. Jesus fucking Christ. When is the next big fight in the UFC? Like, what the fuck?
That's scheduled. Let's find out. Hold up. Then after that, April 27th, Yoel Romero against Jacare. It was supposed to be Paulo Costa, but
I just heard on the Noses show that supposedly he had tested positive for some steroids.
About fucking time they caught.
I don't want to be Captain Obvious if you look at the fucking guy, but
yeah, Costa came out and said that's bullshit. What's up, dude?
Alleged, I said alleged, because since neither USADA nor anybody else is now going to be coming out and saying what is going on, we don't know, because we don't know if he did pop or not.
Yeah. Look, you know what we do know? He ain't fighting Yoel's funny ass on that day, so whatever. Something happened.
All right. Then in May 11th, UFC 237, and I actually skipped one in between. No, yeah, that's why. Derek Brunson is Elias Theodoro so far as the headliner on
you
this
skipped that one. Love you, Elias.
Yeah, 237 in May 11th. Thug Rose defending her belt in Brazil against Jessica Andrade. That's a fucking fight.
Ah, damn. Yeah, finally. Where are we, in May now?
May 11th, yeah. And then Jose Aldo against Alexander Volkanovski, because Jose didn't want to fight in the main event. And then of a regular fight night. He wants to fight in Brazil, so. And then Anderson Silva against Jared Cannonier, which is like, ooh, shit. Then, you know, fucking Little Nogs on this card. Okay. And then Betch Correa is on this card against Irene Aldana. Diego Alves is on this card. Jessica Rose Clark is on this card. Probably the first decent card we went into. But then we get to Fight Night 152, and this is a fight that I want to talk about. Alexander Gustafsson against Anthony Lionheart Smith. The thought process, Gus said that if he loses, maybe he doesn't have it anymore. A lot of people thinking the winner of this gets a title shot. I mean, Fred.
Oof, the UFC has fallen on fucking black days, Jack.
205, yeah.
And fucking everything. What the fuck? None of that shit really does it for me. None of those fights, to be fair. None of that sounds...
Not even the Thug Rose fight? Damn.
I mean, Thug Rose is okay, but to be fair, that's a Brazilian card, kind of. You got Jessica Andrade, you got fucking Jose Aldo. Right. Where the fuck is DC or John Jones or Khabib or Connor or fucking, I don't know, goddamn Dominic Cruz, fucking TJ something. Like, even the fucking ugly little Henry Cejudo. Like, we don't got Nathan till like fucking June. And then, fuck. Then we get fucking old Anthony Lionheart Smith. Apparently, he's going to be a thorn in our side for a while now. He run the fucking beat up a couple old men, and he'll be there for a month or something. Like, I don't know, man. Yeah, sure. Fuck it. I mean, I don't know. I don't even think John should be there defending the belt no more. But I guess, yeah, give him a title shot for all of me. Like, I'm pretty sure Gus is going to beat the fucking dog shit out of Anthony Smith. I mean, I very well could be wrong. You never know. But it seems like Anthony Smith just got the right fights, and now he's at the fucking wrong place at the wrong time, Jack. I think fucking Gus gets rid of him fucking faster and easier than John.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Look, man, fuck, it won't be.
So
watching it live, like Smith Jones, you can see Smith didn't belong in there. I can't believe he's gonna look much better against Gus.
To answer your question, no, because I think Gus is going to smash him, and I don't think Gus is getting another shot at John Jones
ever. I think he's done.
At least not for the foreseeable. Not with a win over fucking Anthony Smith. What the fuck? Like, that ain't getting Gus another title shot. So. Yeah, I don't know. I think the idea of John at 205 is a little silly at this point. He needs to go to heavyweight, and 205 has work to do.
I kind of want Gus to go to heavyweight, but yeah. Jesse, what do you think?
What do I think? Why are we still talking about this crap ass fight? Like, we can move on to whatever's the next one, because it's obvious. Come on, like. I was saying that he, what was it? Anthony Smith had basically a puncher's chance at John Jones. He doesn't even have a puncher's chance against Gustafsson. So yeah, I don't even know why this is a main event.
Yes, I almost agree. I mean, anybody's got a puncher's chance, but that's about as bad as matchup as he's going to get. Like, Gus should pick him apart and beat the fuck out of him.
But to be fair, it's a fucking fight night, so I get why it's main event.
That's not even to be fair. People are still paying for that main event, man. That sucks.
And then we don't have to talk about. By the way, they're still building most of these cards, so
right.
We don't have to talk about the fight itself, but I just want to say it because it's funny to me. Valentina Shevchenko at UFC 238 defending against Jessica Ai. Enjoy that.
Oh God, this is fucking killing me, man. It's fun. I don't like this. Is all joking aside. And I'm assuming they must have some good shit coming for the summer, because this is a real lull in the schedule.
Huge lull.
I mean, this is not making for a very good 2019. Like, numbers, ratings, pay-per-view wise, they're gonna need Connor, John, somebody. And like here's another little news flash for y'all. Just because John Jones is fighting, y'all better stop with that fucking Anthony Smith shit.
Yeah.
Like, John gonna do some numbers by himself, but he ain't Connor. John can do numbers, but he needs intriguing dance partners at this point. Like, that Anthony Smith ain't going to do the numbers they thought it was. I guarantee you that. If they put him in there with Thiago Santos, that ain't going to do no numbers either. Put him in there with JDS. That might do something. Put that on the right card, and you got some fucking intrigue. But, like, John defending at 205 against fucking tomato cans, with all due respect, it just ain't going to do pay-per-view numbers. We all going to want to watch John fight. But you know what I'm saying? It's just like within boxing and shit. Like, Floyd can box anybody and sell a bunch of tickets, but when he boxes Connor or Pacquiao or another name, that's when you get the fucking magic.
Like, hey Eddie, how many of those cards, those fight night cards, are ESPN cards?
Okay, this one
can't be too many.
No, this one doesn't say where it's being broadcast. UFC on ESPN, so it's one. Another fight night, UFC on ESPN. So I think two of them out of a bunch of those.
All right, so
this is as far as I can tell on here. They don't really, Google doesn't really tell you until it's like getting closer. But I'm assuming it's going to be quite a handful of them actually, because fight night this weekend's on ESPN Plus, fight night next weekend's on ESPN Plus, UFC on ESPN. Then you get 236, and then you get another fight night, which is probably ESPN Plus. Then, you know what? All of them. What the fuck?
Okay, so are we did we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot by wanting the UFC to be on ESPN? And now that we have a string of like 5 or 6, 7 cards that are just, just nothing that's impressive to any of us here. Are we kind of seeing like that the UFC maybe is just filling these cards, these slots, and just being like, well, here it is. We got some name for you at the top, and meh.
Like they always find a way to kind of catch up, but I think 2019 is going to be a down year for them a little bit. And they'll pick it up towards July, like end of July. They'll put together the July card and all that. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think the watered down product's trying to catch up a lot.
I really think that everybody just in general might have really, really underestimated the matchmaker's value and Joe Silva's
Joe
value.
Silva. Joe Silva's
Like, I mean, I think there's a real science to this thing, matching the right people up at the right time so that they're available at later times, having a good enough relationship for them to buy into certain fights and taking them. Like, I think there's just a lot that goes into that. A lot of these fights just feel strange, man. A lot of them just don't feel right. They just feel weird. It just feels like the company's being ran by people that don't quite. And like sometimes they get it right. Sometimes it's a great fight. But then a lot of times, I mean, we've all been watching the sport for a long time, man. A lot of times I'm watching it, I'm like, what is this? Like, real talk. All these fights that are coming up, a lot of these fights are really weak cards with like one or two fights that are all right at the top. And that's fine. But then you get to the next big pay-per-view, even that, Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier, that's a little weird. So you know what I mean? It was like Henry Cejudo versus TJ Dillashaw. Fair enough. Okay.
Which, by the way, sorry, Aljamain Sterling kind of said online that he said that's the next fight. It's Henry Cejudo against TJ Dillashaw at 135.
That's crap.
It's weird, man. It's just I really feel like, no disrespect to Mick Maynard and Sean Shelby, but I just think that Joe Silva was a beast with that shit, and it was underappreciated, like what that meant, that matchmaking capability, man. Because a lot of these fights just don't feel right. They're just weird, kind of.
He was good at setting up fights, but he was also really good at building the card the right way.
Yeah, I think there's like a real science to that we just don't get, man, because these cards just feel weird, man. It's just like a bunch of weird fights, and then there's like an okay fight at the top. There's no, I don't know. It doesn't feel right no more.
Well, I mean, there's been a handful of cards recently where it was like fucking huge fight to kick off the main card and lull, and then huge fight and then garbage, and then you know what I mean? It's kind of like that, Jesse.
No, I was gonna say, remember when we first started talking about these cards a few years back? We would always say that it was always building up to something, to the end, the main event, the co-main event, and you could feel it on the card, like, okay, we start with, some of the not so stellar fights, but they were still good matchups, good fights. And it would just keep building and building. And you'd get to like, whatever, the main event on, Fox or whatever. And that would give you like that sense of like, damn, that was such a good fight. The next fight's going to be even better. So we got to get the pay-per-view. Then you get the pay-per-view, and that started off really good and just kept building. Now, like Eddie was saying, what was it? The Cody Garbrandt fight. Great fight to start. Next fight was Tisha Torres and I can't even remember the other. Yeah. So, it's just, and that's how most of these cards feel. They don't feel like you're getting that excitement of build up. It's just like, well, we got to fill this slot. So here's a fight. Here's another fight. It just feels at this point.
Can I throw out a theory too though? I heard what's the one dude, Teddy Atlas?
Yeah.
I seen an interview that he did recently, and he was talking about how boxing's like where boxing is fucked up at. And he said what boxing needs is a dictator like Dana White.
Okay.
And that's why the UFC was so good, because they had a dictator, and Dana White could just make shit happen.
Right.
I almost feel like in a weird way, when the UFC sold, all that died out. And it's strange, right? Because I feel like all the fans are always like, yeah, man, screw Dana White and the machine, man. All the fighters should get to say so, man. They should have all the rights. And I think that's what we're seeing now. But now, you got all these fucking prima donnas. Nobody wants to do nothing. Everybody does what they want. Tony Ferguson don't feel like fighting fucking Max Holloway. Hey, sure, fucking he's got a point, right? But I just feel like fucking 7 years ago, guess what fight we get? Max versus Tony. And guess who's fucking happy? Us. I mean, seriously, I feel like I feel like that's the difference between the UFC then and now. Joe Silva, Uncle fucking Frank Fertitta, the most of them, I feel like, I don't know what they do, whether they send over a bunch of fucking goons or a bunch of fucking whores and coke or fucking champagne. I feel like they do something, and Tony takes that fight with Max. And it just seems like that shit used to work out more. Now it's like we be getting left with some bullshit. Like, okay, Max versus Dustin, fair enough, but what?
I think what you're alluding to is the fact that the Fertittas would grease everything. There was like a stalemate at something, and they would come in and grease everything up, like you said, whether it was something else, maybe some extra money from old
Points on a
Fertitas.
pay-per-view.
Yeah. There was always something, like you said, that they would promise them and give them, and the fighter would be like, well, all right, yeah, now that makes sense. Yeah, no problem, I'll take that fight. And right now it's run by a corporation that's just looking at everything as numbers.
Yep, and they're like, fuck it.
Yeah, if we plug this person here, the metrics tell us that we'll get at least this many numbers, this many views. That's good. That's fine. Okay, we'll move to the next card. Like, they're not even caring about what the fans want at this point.
Well, and you're absolutely right, man, because I feel like that's it. Like, back in the day, I feel like Tony says that shit, and Uncle Frank jumps on a private fucking jet and flies to wherever the fuck Tony is and has a one-on-one, man-to-man conversation with him and figures some shit out. Yeah. I feel like WME sends him an email saying, well, fuck you then. Yeah. Daisy, we just offered Dustin a fight. Go fuck yourself. Which is kind of cute, but in the long run, I think you're right, man. I think that the UFC used to be ran like a mom and pop store. You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, they would work with the fighters and make some shit happen one way or the other. So I tell you what, you know who don't bitch about the UFC brass? Old school fighters. When's the last time you heard Forrest Griffin say some bad shit about the UFC? Rashad Evans, Diego Sanchez, any of them motherfuckers, Chuck Liddell. Chuck Liddell don't even know where he's at. He still don't bad talk Dana. Like, whatever they did for them cats, it was good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, none of them guys are bitter at the UFC. Fans be hating, but all those cats are usually like, yeah, things worked out pretty good.
Yep. Dude, fuck. You would think Dana White, somebody would go and like offer Joe Silva a boatload of fucking money, be like, look, dude, just come back.
But they probably have. And Joe's like, not in a million years, homeboy. Like, I did my time. I'm having fun. I'm fucking done. Because it probably was super stressful, man. Super stressful.
But I also think that you have to think of it this way, like Fred, your analogy of a mom and pop shop. Now imagine that shop gets bought out by Walmart or something, and it turns all corporate and everything. It's not like you can bring back the person that was the cashier or the people in there, and it's going to go back to the same, because it's not. Right. Now it's something totally different. Whether we still have our mom and pop of Dana White, and the matchmaker or whatever, Joe Silva, whoever you want, you can plug in all those holes that we think we have, but still at the top, it's still that corporation, and they are running it the way they want it to. And we've talked about this before. Dana White, he's like, well, I'm trying. I don't know what else I can do. It just feels like Dana White's just chugging along, and up until he runs out his contract, then he's probably going to go do that boxing thing.
We're at the point where it's like, we miss the good old days.
Yeah, really. And let me tell you something right now. Let me tell y'all something right now. For all the motherfuckers out there that like to hate on Dana White, the bald father, and all the jokes.
Yeah.
Y'all going to miss that motherfucker when he's gone.
Oh, hell yeah.
Mark my words, dog. Like, y'all think the UFC's on some shit now? Wait till DW goes. Like, I'll tell you what, dude. Scott Coker might very well end up being one of the smartest men in MMA. That motherfucker might see the writing on the wall and might be like, yo, the UFC is unraveling. All we need is about 4 years. Eventually, Dana White's going to go. And at that point, they ain't got nobody there. All they got is fucking Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard. And like I said, all due respect to them, those dudes are going to do whatever the fuck, Ari Emanuel or whoever the higher ups at EM fucking T are going to tell them to do. I don't know, man. Like, we might see a world in which Bellator can actually compete with the UFC, because the UFC got bought by some cats that don't know what the fuck they're doing. And, like, to be fair, the reason the UFC was successful had a lot to do with Frank Fertitta, Lorenzo Fertitta,
for sure,
Dana White, and Joe Silva. Like, those guys fucking built it. Once all those guys are gone, Joe Rogan will be gone soon. Like, it's fucking wild, Jack. Goldie's gone. Like, I can really see a world in which the UFC ends up being weird feeling, and we go to Bellator like, yo, Goldie's there. It's like a fucking bar where all of our old buddies are at and shit. Like, I'm telling you, man, things seem like they're really changing in the UFC. We've been saying that for a while, but even just hearing you list off all those cards for like the next fucking 4 months,
pretty bad.
there really ain't no blockbusters in there, man. And I know, you know, DC and Brock might be getting cooked up and you still got John Jones, but still, man, that's a lot of events where you ain't hardly going to get any kind of real traction for any of those fights.
And that's the problem, right? Because we make fun of Bellator for having like a big name at the top and, you know, a bunch of like scattered names that they're trying to build, but yet people still watch them. They're still making the moves. And think about this, Fred. You also have Combate Americas, which I want to talk about in a minute. You also have one that's now going to be broadcast in the U.S. on TNT. You know, you have still what's the Risen that does their big end of the year thing, which they always, you know, try to do something big with big names that we all recognize. So, I mean, there's so many like wolves at the door at this point. And if UFC keeps doing this type of thing to their fans, I mean, a lot of their fans are going to migrate elsewhere, man. Like, and it's just not going to be the same anymore.
It's true, dude. It's true. We got off on a real fucking tangent there, but we had a fucking slow week, and I think that's an important fucking topic, man.
Yeah, no, that's
but it's not a tangent. It's what's happening right now, which, you know, a lot of people aren't really realizing what's going on. You know, a lot of people are like, yeah, I'll tune in. You know, they got my money, I'll watch it. But they're not realizing that they're just selling you something that's so subpar, and they're getting you used to this, like, you know, these crumbs, these like, you know, slim pickings, and then eventually it's going to turn into the boxing model where nobody cares about who's at the, you know, undercard or even the co-main. Oh, it's the main event. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll tune in for that.
I mean, to be honest, for anybody who's not a hardcore shitbird like us, most of these fights that he listed are already that.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is tuning in to watch the prelims of this fucking this British English card coming up, except for fucking hardcore?
Okay, so,
you know what I mean? Like what casuals are looking forward to watching the prelims of that card?
Okay, so here's the thing.
Do they even know it's happening?
Right. So here's the thing. You guys ever look at cards? All right. So all three of us used to watch every single card, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Fred, you still kind of watch every single card.
Yeah.
I have been skipping cards. Like, I won't say regularly, but if it's like a fight night and the only fight I really give a shit about is the main event, I'll go out and do some shit on Saturday and catch up on Sunday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're not giving us, or they're not giving me anything where I'm like, I have to watch this fight.
Yeah,
right? Like, for example, I'm watching. What's that?
I said I missed this weekend's card, and I didn't really miss out on much, did I?
Exactly, I did too. I didn't watch it.
Like, you're absolutely right, dude. I'm going on vacation tomorrow morning. I'll be gone till Sunday.
There you go.
I will watch Saturday's card at some point. Matter of fact, I won't. I will cherry pick the fucking card.
Yeah.
I'll tune into Twitter. I will watch the main event probably later on that evening when I get back to my room. But you're right. There was times where even if I was on vacation, they'd be like, all right, well, fuck it. From 1 to 4, Jack, I'm not doing nothing. I'm sitting at the hotel watching the fight.
Exactly.
Now, I'm doing whatever I need to do. If worst come to worst, I'll watch the fights at 2 in the morning when nothing else is open. But I don't have to fucking be there no more. I will tune in, but like,
Dude, last time I was in San Diego for a tournament, right? Like, we got done right as the main cards were about to start. We hauled ass back to the fucking hotel room just so I could watch it, right? And it's stuff like that I miss. The fucking compelling cards, like for example, UFC Philly. I'm honestly watching them mostly because Michelle Waterson's fighting on there. I enjoy watching her fight. That fight with Kovacevic, while not a huge fight and doesn't get everyone going, I enjoy that fight and I'll watch that. But like this weekend, Darren Till against Masvidal, I'll watch that later on. Like, I'm not gonna move my day to do it. I'm gonna be out of town for most of the day, so I'll watch it when I get home. But it's just like I miss that. I miss that almost like a need to watch every card the whole way through.
And isn't it crazy how all of us here can attest to the fact that, like, before you would plan your day according to, I'll do this, and then I'll get home and be able to still watch, most of the prelims and then, the rest of the card. Or I don't want to miss the prelims, so I'll adjust certain things so I don't miss anything. Now, all three of us are talking about like, well, yeah, maybe I'll catch up or I'll follow on Twitter or whatever,
Dude, I've scheduled Uber Eats for a fucking card because I didn't want to go out and get dinner. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I've done that.
And to be fair, for most of these cards, I won't be on vacation. And my funny pill ass will be watching most of my videos because I got nothing better to do. But again, the UFC needn't be worried about me.
Right.
You know, it's like a crackhead be. I'm already here, Jack. I'm a fan. Y'all ain't got to worry about me. No matter how bad you treat me, as long as you cute little pricks, y'all can do me like this. You can put one fight on there, and then my funny ass will tune in one way or another to get the results and stuff. But Joe Blow, the motherfuckers that y'all really want, those fans,
Yep.
This ain't it. If anything, like real shit, y'all should go the fucking the Asian route. Look, man, who did the fucking biggest numbers of any MMA fucking fight on TV history? Kimbo.
Yeah,
Kimbo fucking Slice, dog. Like, at the end of the day, if you're going to give us these shit cards, let's have a little fun.
Yeah.
Get those fucking WWE pricks. Get the little, what the fuck's that little dude's name? Logan Paul? I mean, honestly, look, all bullshit aside, and I know there's going to be a whole bunch of hardcore MMA heads out there going to get little panties and twists. I'd rather watch CM Punk get destroyed than watch fucking Habib Nurmagomedov versus fucking Tom DeWall from England. Like it's like, oh yeah, it's two solid guys with a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I mean, if they're that solid, we'll figure it out in the long run. Right. But a whole card of those sporting competitive, man, fuck that. What was that one little ugly, disgusting fucking English prick? They called him the Freak. Yeah, fucking like his tongue split and tattoos all over his face. Give me a couple of little creatures like that on the card. Give me something to get worked up about. Motherfucker with some gold teeth or just beat a murder rap. I don't fucking something. It's like all these guys are like cookie cutter, fucking boring ass people. Every once in a while, you get somebody who thinks they're Connor and they talk. You know what I mean? It's like none of these guys got real personality. Like, none of these motherfuckers are really coming in with something actually unique and different. Fucking Colby Covington. That's what we get. That's how bad it is. We get excited because some fucking loser puts on a Trump hat and does a fucking impression that all of us can see from a mile away. But we're so fucking bored with everybody else that we're like, fuck it. Fair enough. Let's all just look at fucking Colby for a minute.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's fucking weird. MMA world's fucking crazy. But Jesse, let's talk Combate Americas real quick. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, they're having an event here in LA on April 26th. And it's an interesting card because they're crowning it as the Reinas del Combate. Which is
it's a female card.
Yeah, it's a female card. It's headlined by Super Melly Martinez, who is undefeated. She's great.
Is Kira gonna fight?
Yeah, actually, you guys are gonna enjoy who she's fighting. She's fighting Her Majesty Angela Magana.
I'm so watching that fight. I'm a big fan of Kira, so I'm cool with that. But the fact that she's fighting Angela Magana, I'm cool with watching that.
I mean, you also have Zoila Frosto coming back and fighting on there. You have Froggy, who's always exciting. Paulina Granados, she's going to be on there. Eric Ghost Pepper Gonzalez. So it's going to be a really, really stacked up card.
It's like Froggy and Ghost Pepper fight like every week.
Oh, dude, I'm sure well, they're at least fighting for money because these guys seem like the type of guys that would fight on the street, like, you know,
just for fun.
Just for fun. But it seems to be a pretty stacked card. It's going to be at the what's it called? The Galen Center, which is I think on the USC campus. So
okay, there you go. That's not far. That's like 2 hours from you.
Like an hour and a half. Yeah.
Hour and a half. You gonna go?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go to this one. Cool. April 26th. So if you guys get a chance to get your tickets, I think they're $30 starting. So, you know, go check this card out. It's definitely gonna be a good one.
You're in Southern California, man. With all this rain and shit, especially if the weather stays shitty, go watch some fights, man, indoors. Have some fun. Did you want your 2 minutes now or at the very end? Because we can talk about something else.
Well, it's up to you. It's kind of like a weird topic. So if you got something else, let's go with something else.
Let's real quick because you know Fred hasn't done a show, Gem City Jesus podcast show in a minute. I wanted to get Fred's take on this whole thing. If you have like any take on it, this whole thing with like rich people paying so their kids get like a free pass into a big school. Like coming from like where we come from, none of us grew up privileged whatsoever. So to see something like that, it annoys the fuck out of me. I knew it was happening. I never thought anyone would get in trouble for it. But now that they did and it's on the open, you're just kind of like, these motherfuckers.
You just said it, man. You said it. We knew it was happening. Like, that's the thing with this shit, man. Look, is it fucked up and is it annoying as fuck? Of course it is.
Yeah.
The problem with it is par for the course. It's rich people fucking bending the rules because they're rich and because they can. The fucked up thing is that shit happens everywhere. That shit even happens in Game of Thrones, and Game of Thrones ain't real.
Right.
God damn it. Rich people and people in power are always gonna do sneaky shit like this. Every fucking continent, every fucking nation, this is the way this shit goes. I don't think there's any way of getting around it. It was fucked up, but like when I heard about it, I'm like, of course they did. Of course they are. That's how fucking rich, especially rich white people. Well, you get some white people and they get rich, they think they can just do any goddamn fucking thing they want. And the fucked up thing is they kind of can. They kind of can.
Yeah.
If you're fucking like a white guy and filthy rich, you can become the president of the United States.
Insanity.
And that's not hyperbole. It's goddamn fact.
It happened.
Donald Trump flat proves it. For all the bad shit that we can say about the man, he's got to be inspiring to some. Like, at least fucking white guys, like average white guys, should be inspired by that prick. You make enough money, you could take over the world.
Oh, yeah. And just by having all that money makes people think that you're business savvy.
Yeah.
Come on.
If you are, like, it's not bad. It's not hard to be business savvy when you get like, so look, if any tycoon ever fucking happens to see this with their eyeballs, front Daddy Fred $1 million. And what happens? I'll fucking own Dayton in 10 years. Give me $1 million.
I enjoyed that quote so much. I still remember when he was like, I didn't get anything handed to me. I started off with a very small $1 million loan from my father. And it was like, first of all, it was way more than that.
Yeah, right. And I've heard that's bullshit. But
it was way more.
Just give, if everybody got $1 million, that would change. A lot of people would be fucking business tycoons.
Yeah. No, immediately. But Jesse, what do you think about that, dude? I mean, look, they had 2 actresses, they had a few other people, and a bunch of college coaches are in trouble for it because they were like, people would get their kids in the school on athletic scholarships. It went so far as that they posed their kids in pictures as athletes. It's crazy.
And then the college coaches was taking the money, right?
Yeah. Singer, the guy's name's Singer or something like that. Jesse,
I think the funniest thing is that people have a hard time, with what we were talking about earlier. People have a hard time understanding why a lot of Mexican people come over the border, with their kids and stuff, or try to have kids here and, work so hard to have their kids, just grow up here in the US. This is exactly why, because if you have the opportunity to give your kids the best, to be able to go to a school, just do something with their life that makes it easier for them to succeed in life, you're going to do it. And it's just funny because, people are like, oh, like, how could they? They're, but I understand, it's for their kids. They're trying to give them a better life. Yet when you see like Mexican people crossing over the border, or not even just Mexican, just Latin American or any of refugees coming from other countries, everybody's like, oh, but why don't they just move? Why don't they just, stay in their place and make it better? Like, well, sometimes you just can't change your situation. And if you have an opportunity to change it, you take it. It's just human nature, right? But I think it's just hilarious to me because, 2 very prominent actresses with, pretty famous husbands. What is it? Felicity Huffman, I think, is one of them. And the other one was the chick from Full House. 2 very, 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 I think one of them won an Emmy too or something, right? She's like pretty famous. So it's just weird that somebody like that would be caught up in some little scheme like this, and paying, I think someone, I don't know if they did, but I know somebody ended up paying like $6 million or something like that to get their kid into whatever college. I mean, dear Lord, this is just like crazy money that they're talking about just to grease up the wheels and get their kids into certain places.
No shit, like $6 million. Do you know how much how much fucking shit in Dayton I could buy for $6 million? Like, you don't need to go to school no more. Like, you just own half of downtown. You're good, dog. I'd own 3 McDonald's, 2 Subways, an apartment complex, a few houses in the suburbs. Like, I'd be fucking rolling.
What makes it weird is like, I forgot who was talking about this, but they said, why didn't they just do it like, people did it in the old way, quote unquote, the old way, where they would just give big donations to a school, big donations to the school where they would kind of like, hey, every year we kind of give you this amount of money.
Help us out.
Yeah. My kid, he's gonna be maybe applying to your school in the next year or two. You want to keep these checks coming, blah blah blah. But like they had this whole ring of like people paying people and stuff.
It's crazy. The whole fucking thing is nuts. Like, and again, we know it was happening. We all knew it was happening. Never thought they'd actually do anything about it. But they're finally doing something about it, making examples and shit. But please don't get it twisted. This is not going to stop shit.
I was going to say that's the fucking thing about this too. Why it's almost just a redundant thing to talk about because they're not the first, they're not the only, and they ain't the last. Like this is the thing that like they got caught, but I'm sure motherfuckers are getting their little palms greased all around this country, and little dumb rich shitbirds are floating all throughout colleges, all throughout this country that don't belong there because their fucking parents got money. But such is life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think my favorite one was the chick from Full House. Her daughter goes to USC, and she had a video up maybe a couple of days or a few days before this whole thing broke. She was just like, I like the party scene like this. I don't even like school, to be honest with you. And I'm like, bitch, your mom just spent all that fucking money to get you in there. You don't even want to go to school. Fuck you.
That's how. And that's the beauty of life too. Y'all do all this, and your kids are so pampered, and they get there and they're fucking sucking deck and doing Molly in the fucking bathroom.
But you know what's the saddest thing? My wife pointed this out is the kids that didn't know, that thought that on their own merit they made it into a prominent college, and now they find out that mommy paid off some kid to correct the test, the SAT afterwards. So what does that do to the kid? Like their confidence in themselves of like, yeah, I'm actually smart enough to be here. No, you ain't. Mommy just found a way to pay for you to get in there. Like,
how many of them kids were really that dumb though?
Yeah,
I would imagine half of them had to know, like, man, I ain't supposed to be a no dude, but I'll rub it though. Like, fuck these motherfuckers. Like, yo, that's crazy though. Some of them actually being there, like, oh my god, I ain't supposed to be at Harvard. Dang, I thought I was smart. Like, that's crazy. I just being surprised and shell shocked because they're not as smart as they thought they was.
I just feel bad for the kids that were busting their ass to get in there and didn't get in, and then come to find this shit out. Like they didn't. I mean, they should have known too, but still, like, that's fucked up for them.
Well, and that's the thing that sucks, I guess. There's only so many places at colleges like that, and when people are getting free rides, the kids that do deserve it, ain't no room for y'all now.
If Aunt Becky, that's who she played, right? Aunt Becky in Full House, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Aunt Becky wanted her, if Aunt Becky's kid wanted to just be, slobbing on knobs and shit and getting drunk, she should have just gone to ASU, Arizona State.
What's crazy is these ain't even like real celebrities. I'm almost as famous as Aunt Becky from Full House. This isn't like this ain't quite Drake we're talking about. Like, what the fuck?
But her husband is pretty damn famous. He's a designer for I forget what company, and he's like a big designer. And also Felicity Huffman, she's pretty famous, but her husband, William H. Macy, is pretty damn famous.
Wait, Will Macy's her husband?
Yeah.
Oh shit, that sucks. He's
old Frank coming out in real life, eh?
Fucking A, dude. All right.
Well, apparently he didn't know anything about it, so.
No, of course he didn't. Frank never knows nothing.
I kind of believe him though. The way he like acts, the way he comes off, I kind of believe him. I don't care, but I kind of believe him.
I don't want to hear anything those fucking magicians have to fucking act. Really good actors are like real life magicians. They're magic. You motherfuckers are weird. You can turn into other people if you need to. Y'all, I ain't listening to nothing William H. Macy tells me. Like Johnny Depp starts talking, I tune out. Like actors, that's why them motherfuckers are weird. Y'all, you could just become a role. It's crazy. They gotta be like the best liars on planet Earth.
It's almost creepy. Mostly creepy.
Brad Pitt. You don't want that dude trying to bullshit you about something. If he wants to bullshit you, he's gonna bullshit you.
He will. And he'll believe his ass too.
Yeah, what the fuck? That's his job.
I mean, shit. People were dropping kids off at the Michael Jackson daycare, thinking he was holier than thou and shit.
Yeah, that's pretty wild too.
That's fucking crazy. I haven't even watched that yet. Like, look, he don't want to. Like, I don't want to like ruin that. Like, oh man, he made Thriller though. Fuck. Like, now I can't even. Yeah. You watched it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you think?
I mean, it is what it is, man. It depends on what you take from it, I guess. For some reason, it didn't hit me as hard as the R. Kelly shit did, honestly. I mean, I think he did it Like coming away from it, it seems like he did it. The details were kind of heinous. I guess we all kind of assumed that he did it anyways. So just hearing the details were a little gnarly.
Do you think it's the fact that we all kind of knew since the beginning that MJ probably was doing this stuff, but we just had no actual like, like evidence of it? But with R. Kelly, it's like it was kind of rumored, but everybody's like, nah, he's not like that. He's not like that. He's, and then bam, now everything really hits like documentaries and videos and.
Not really though, man. I mean, shit, dude. There was a fucking tape circulating of R. Kelly pissing on a little girl 25 years ago, like a tape. He was busted, caught red-handed, and we all knew it. Everybody knew it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know what it is, man. Maybe Mike's just more of a beloved figure, and there are certain things that we're just like, nah, or whatever. We're just willing to overlook it, I guess. I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's fucked, but like it didn't feel the same. Felt like R. Kelly almost worse of a rap than Mike did.
Damn it. So I guess I Believe I Can Fly wasn't as good enough as a Thriller. Just
here's the thing.
Put that under the rug, huh?
You know what? I'll never stop. Like I still have I Believe I Can Fly somewhere. I can't listen to the rest of his shit though. I Believe I Can Fly is not about banging young girls. Like, you know what I mean? Like all the other songs, like all I hear is like 14-year-old. Like, oh god damn it, Kelly. What the fuck, Robert? What are you doing?
But then fucking, Mike was fucking 8-year-old boys and shit.
Right, but he was singing yeah. But I mean Thriller. I could listen to some of those, but like the girl's mind comes up and I'm like, word, Mike, the girl is yours. Fucking fuck. Human Nature, I can still listen to that. You know what I mean? Shit like that. But I don't know. Whatever. But anyway. Jesse, your 2 minutes. What's up?
Oh, okay. April 13th. Let me back it up. Sorry. This week is MS Awareness Week.
Yes, sir.
And my wife actually suffers from multiple sclerosis. So I kind of wanted to do something, I've been kind of running and stuff and working out before, my whole neck and everything. But I figured I want to do something at least. And actually on April 13th, there's going to be a 5K happening here close to where I live. Actually, in my town, it's in Lancaster. So I set up a little fundraiser thing. I'll try, because Facebook was down today, but I'll try to put it up. If anybody wants to sponsor or anything, or just send some money, it's going straight to the foundation, the MS Society. I think my wife might actually join me for that walk. It's a walk. It's not a run. So not going to have to do anything too crazy, but and if anybody that's in the California area, Southern California area, wants to come and join, participate, whatever, I have a team supposedly, but nobody in there, probably just my wife and I. So if anybody wants to join along with us and everything, that'd be cool too.
All right, man. Hey, drag all your homeboys that are on your fucking Snapchat story when you guys are out partying. Those motherfuckers eat with you guys. Drag them.
Oh, my brother-in-laws.
Yeah, all of them. Everybody, for real. But hey, especially if your brother-in-law's like, y'all gotta come support your sister. Let's go. What you doing? Yeah, but that's April 13th, right?
Yeah, April 13th.
Yeah, make sure you put that link so we can spread it out. Multiple sclerosis, if you guys don't know, is a disease in which the immune system eats away at the protective covering in the nerves, causing pain. You lose control of certain things in your body. It's a pretty scary thing, and also your wife is super. She's a tough lady, 100%. Like super strong. You could never, in a million years, guess that she had anything wrong with her. You know what I mean?
She's badass.
For real, she's a badass. Like, I remember when you told me she had it, I was like, get the fuck out. No way. Like, she doesn't come off at all like that. Like, she just keeps chugging along, dude. So, hell, if y'all can support, we would really, really appreciate it, 100%. Especially if you're in the area, you want to go hang out, meet Jesse's wife, who's an amazing person, and go hang out. Definitely hit him up. Yeah, for sure. Anything else, you guys?
Nope. I think that does it. We covered everything from here to fucking July.
Right. So next week I'm on dad duty, so I can't do a show next week, more than likely. So if anything crazy goes down, we'll find a way to get on here and talk about it. Other than that, won't be on next week. So appreciate you guys coming on and watching and everything. The internet's fucked up. Facebook died today. Instagram died today. It's still not fucking working. I don't know what the hell's going on with YouTube. Apparently, Joey Tremendous is saying shit like they didn't even get the notification that we went live. So, I'm sure most of you guys will be watching this after the fact. We did actually get some comments here. Frederick was here. What up, dude? Talking about he thinks Pettis wins via submission. And then Jeremiah confirms he's going to be at UFC Nashville for Thompson versus Pettis. So if you guys are going to that, hit him up on Twitter. Buy that man a beer. All right. That's going to do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. You can follow Fred at Kirby_MMA. Jesse's at Spawat1983. Make sure you guys keep an eye out for that link for the April 13th event. If you can support anything that will help. MS is a very scary thing to deal with, and there's no cure yet. But the more we push for research for it, like, you're hopeful. Maybe not this generation, but maybe in the next generation will figure it out. But you always hope for advancement in medicine for sure. And then I'm at Elaw31. The show is at Keyboard MMA. Shout out to everyone that watches and listens and everything. You guys are the shit. SpicePros.com. Make sure you head over there. They're a great sponsor. And repthewarriors.com. All right. It's going to be it for us. Catch you guys in a couple weeks. Enjoy UFC London. And, from myself and the Keyboard Warriors, good night, Wilshire.